Hey everyone, Dr. Siobhan France here, physical therapist, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you the hidden reasons why you could be repelling clients and have no idea that this is happening. This actually came up with two of my clients earlier this week, and I wanted to bring this to the table because this isn't something that was on their radar. This was hidden, so to speak. So I know that you have been taking all of the action inside of your business to sign clients. You're posting content consistently, you're having sales conversations, you're actually booking sales calls, and you're prospecting or just getting out there and starting new conversations with people. You're really showing up, you're putting yourself out there. And maybe if it's not in the online space, you're doing it in person at networking events, but you're doing it. Like you're really showing up and you are wanting and hoping and still wishing that more clients come into your world because you know that you're putting out really good things. And so maybe you've noticed some clients come in, but maybe they're not coming in as quickly as you want, or maybe they're just kind of trickling in. Well, one of the things that can tend to happen is we are saying that we want more clients, and our actions are matching that we want more clients because we're doing the work. But the hidden part of clients not actually coming to you and why you might be repelling them is you might not actually be emotionally available to sign on new clients. So, when we're running a business, whether we are still working our 9 to 5 or maybe you're already full time, we've got life. It's not just business. So, maybe you're having frustrations with your partner, some kind of friendship, or just any health or life challenge in general. That can often make us feel very taxed. And so our energy is essentially being split, where we're spending a lot of time energetically and maybe even physically dealing with some of the things that are going on with whatever challenge it is. And so, although we want more clients and we're taking the actions to get more clients, we're not actually available to be able to handle more clients coming in because we're already being emotionally taxed. And I know we are high achievers, we are ambitious, and we get stuff done. But we also have a capacity in which we're not going to let ourselves fail or falter because we have standards that we know we're going to uphold. So, on a subconscious level, we could very well be blocking somebody from coming into our world because we're fearful of, we might not want to drop the ball on them because we know we got all the stuff going on in the background. So, we actually have to work towards increasing our emotional capacity. And you might look at your calendar and say, "Oh yeah, I've got space. I can be emotionally available here." But that's really just your physical time. That is just a calendar space, but that does not equate to you being able to actually take on another client. Or maybe it's a group program and you're looking to fill the space with so many people. And maybe you only have a couple people in, but you're thinking you wanted more and you're wondering why they're not coming in. Well, maybe you don't have that capacity to let more in, even though your calendar shows that you can. So I find this to actually be very common as well. If you are building your business and there's some frustration around how you're building your business, maybe you're using strategies that just don't feel completely aligned for you. Maybe you're just doing things that just you're not really connecting with. Something just feels off. So you've got a frustration or some kind of a annoyance or maybe even a little bit of an anxiety around how your business is being built. And so when that happens, the last thing we want to do is let somebody into our world. We want the client to come in or clients more, but we're not allowing them to come in because we're actually blocking them. The energy is blocking them because we are feeling frustrated or we're anxious or we're feeling annoyed by something that's going on. And so it's like, I don't want to let anybody in on that. It's almost like there's somebody, driving past your house and your house isn't clean. And somebody says, "Hey, I'm in the neighborhood. I can stop by." And you're like, "Oh my gosh, I do not want this person to come in." And you're telling them, "Okay, yeah, yeah, stop on by." And you're saying that, but like you don't actually really want them to come over because the house is dirty and you're not going to really have time to clean up, but you still want to put out there, yeah, sure. But the person can hear a little bit of trepidation in your voice that maybe now is not a good time, or maybe it wasn't just in the tone, but it was in the energy that they felt that now wasn't a good time. And they'll say, you know what? I know that I just sprung this on you and I was in the neighborhood, so no worries. And they drive off. And so you're like, whew, it's like you dodged a bullet, right? Or so it feels like. And so that could actually be the exact same way with your clients. So I always ask myself, I look at my calendar and then I make sure I've got physical time, of course. And then I also take a look at what's going on in my life and I just make sure I just clean up any energy or things that might be going on, because there are times as empaths and highly sensitives that we can take on so many emotions that it fills our cup that we don't feel like we can take on anything else. So this is something to be really mindful of. And I actually have another video that I did that talks about blocking your energy, and it was actually blocking your energy while you're at work. But this also can happen just in your personal life. So maybe you've got things going on. You can actually kind of put yourself in a little bit of a bubble and block some of that energy, because most of what we're feeling isn't always ours, right? We've got our own stuff, but sometimes we're taking on other people's stuff. And so we got to make sure that we just sort out our own stuff, because when you are holding space for someone and you're coaching them, or maybe it's not just coaching, but it's coaching and mentorship, you're doing a little bit of both. You're holding space for this person's growth, for their transformation that they're going to have with you. And so depending on what you're coaching or mentoring on, you might know some things about the person's personal life or things that are going on. And so it might be too much for you to be able to take on. So your brain is already processing all of these things at 1,000 miles an hour of everything you're going to have to take on. And if you've had a not so good experience with a client in the past, or maybe you have a current client that is maybe taking up a lot of your time and your own energy, I would definitely recommend making sure that you have boundaries that you are setting and they're not being crossed. But if you do have someone like that in your container, then you're actually not going to want to duplicate that. So there could be this underlying fear of, I don't want anybody else in my container that's like this person. And so therefore, you end up not really allowing other people to come into your container. You're kind of giving this block energy, like you're saying one thing and you're doing another. Even though your actions are demonstrating, yes, that you want people, it's just going to come off in the energy. They say people will often feel your energy of the words that you write through your content. Even just somebody walking into the room, before they even speak, you can feel them. You can notice how they carry themselves. And so there is that same presence in the online space, whether you're creating content or maybe you're going live or you're on a podcast or something. Like, people can actually resonate just with the energy that you give off. And it's not always in the words and the exact things that we say or in the tone. It's just this vibe. It's just this feeling that we get about this person. And so I just really want you all to be mindful as you're building your business and you're taking a look at, what you're saying you want and taking a look at the actions. Just ask yourself, am I available for more people to actually come in? Is there something in me that's really holding back? And this is really just the power of asking yourself really good questions. Is there a reason that I'm not allowing another client to come in? Am I potentially worried about something? Am I avoiding something that I know I need to do? Do I need to clean up my boundaries because I don't want to let anybody else in if they're going to step on my boundaries, or I'm going to allow them to step on my boundaries, right? And so it's really just important for us to actually view the landscape of where we are, what we're available for, and actually cleaning anything up so we can increase our capacity to be able to hold more people in our space so that you can continue transforming more lives. So this is something that I just noticed that was coming up with two of my clients this week. And I said, I've got to bring this to the space because this is something that I actually noticed was happening with me in the very beginning of my business back in 2021, when I looked at my calendar, and this is when I was still working at my 9-to-5 job. I looked at my calendar. I said, I've got physical time. But I also noticed because I was still working and taking on clients, there were days that I was feeling emotionally taxed. And so I could hold and take care of the clients that I had, but there was a part of me that was a little bit concerned with bringing on more people. Could I be emotionally available to help them? And so what I ended up doing was creating a schedule that only allowed me to take client calls on a certain day, and it was really synced up with how my workday was. And so yes, that is a physical time. However, I noticed on those days I was more emotionally available. And until I learned how to block my energy better, until I learned how to really expand my own capacity, that's when it didn't matter what day I had coaching clients. I can take a coaching client on any day and feel completely fine. Even if there's a day that I may not feel the best or feel the greatest, I can still handle a coaching client. One, I'm great at my craft. And two, I've worked on increasing my capacity to be able to handle it. And so because I know how to do that now, I can take it any day, but I do have my client calls scheduled on certain days just because it works better for my schedule. I can't be available on a Zoom call, every single day of the week. It's like I would be working in my business, but never on my business. And so we got to have our CEO days, but that's definitely for another conversation. So I hope this video helps you. I hope it brings you some insight. And if you really recognize that, hey, maybe I'm not emotionally available, let me know in the comments. What was the aha moment for you when I said that? Did something automatically spark in your mind where you thought to yourself, I am not, and you knew exactly what situation you needed to clear up? I trust that you go and you clear that up. If you have any questions or you want to just spark the conversation in the comments, I invite you to, and I will see you all in next week's video. Bye.